Hey, hey.
Hey,
Welcome to our new podcast.
I'm Kristen,
And I'm Brian.
and it's called Brian and Kristen.
Yeah.
He got to go first because he's older.
Yeah. I'm Brian. I came out first, and then Kristen came out. So we're brother and sister, and we're going to be starting up this podcast. And why don't you tell them?
Yeah, so the format is going to be every week. We're going to do this once a week, 15 minutes, so just a little bit of time out of your day. And we are going to share a little bit about where we are, what we're up to, so you can follow us around. We travel a bit, so updates there. And then the best part is that we're going to be taking questions from viewers, listeners, that you may have for us to give our opinion on. So I'm sure you can imagine you're going to probably get two totally different perspectives.
Yeah, you're going to get, we're brother and sister, but we're going to have we maybe sometimes we might agree on what they should do, but other times it might be very different advice.
Yeah, he's a stand-up comedian, and I'm a psychic medium.
Yeah.
So that could be kind of an interesting answer from one of those. So, and then we'll just tie up any stories that we may have related to the question. And so over the next, right now, since it's Memorial Day, we're going to be doing our Swinehart Summer Series. And have just stories around summer, anything that comes up. Oh, and if you know us and have a good Swinehart summer story, feel free to send that in. We'd love to have those. But for now, Brian, what do you have a good summer story?
Well, I used to like going to baseball camp with Frosty Brown. Remember Frosty Brown?
I do remember Frosty Brown.
Frosty Brown was from Troy, Ohio, and he was a famous baseball coach around there. And you have baseball camp, and you go with other kids, you go to baseball camp, and then Frosty had at his house, he had a pitching machine and a batting cage, and you go in there, just plays baseball. I mean, I remember just summers being just baseball, sweaty, and then there was, these baseball coaches, they always got these names, Frosty, then there was Whitey. Remember Whitey?
I remember Whitey and Frosty.
Yeah, Whitey was there, Frosty was there, all these guys got these nicknames, these coaches, they never tell you how they get their nicknames.
Yeah, it makes no sense. And then Whitey, is that a color? And Frosty, is that a chocolate shake? Or is that because you got gray hair?
Yeah, they weren't willing to share why they were called what they were, but they always had these wild nicknames. Whitey, I mean, you're in a town called Covington, Ohio, and you're called Whitey. It's
you don't even need a last name. You don't need a last name.
Exactly. So I liked that. I liked, I liked going to the fair.
Yeah, that's probably a memory that I have a lot of, the fair, because you always had to, I had to prepare 4-H projects like cooking and sewing, and I showed our dog, but there were real livestock things that I did not do, thank God.
Yeah, our neighbors did pigs, remember that? They had pigs, and I would go over and I would walk with them when they're walking their pigs. And that was pretty fun. You would they give you this little whip, but now pigs' skin is thick. I mean, you don't crank the pig with it, but you use it to guide them, almost like a leash with the dog. And then you kind of walk around the yard with the pig, you kind of like this to make sure they're walking, around. And you want to walk the pigs a lot because you want the pigs to have muscle, not fat. Because when you eat a pig, think about it, you want muscle, not the fat. And then they would take their pigs to the fair, and they would walk them around in that circle, and then there would be these judges, and all the kids would wear Wrangler boots, Wrangler jeans, Wrangler shirt right here, rolled up like this, hat, and then they walk around, and the judges would look at the pig, and they would look and see how much muscle the pig had on it, and this and that, and then they would judge the pigs, and then the kids would whoever would win would get a prize, and then they would auction off the pigs, and local people, dentists, doctors, local people of the town would bid on the pigs so the kids could make a little more than what the pig's actually worth, and then they would take them to the on the final day their semi truck would pull up, and the semi truck would pull up and had a little wagon on the back, and they would start putting the pigs into the trailer, and all the kids are attached to their pigs. They'd even name their pigs. This is Little Pinky, this is Rambo, this is Terminator. Then Terminator's walking on to get slaughtered, and the kids are just bawling, "No, Terminator, I love you."
We're gonna hopefully have more depressing stories on every single.
Yeah, sorry, we're not even 5 minutes in.
I mean, if that one doesn't have you crying yet. So that's our favorite summer memory.
Then of course you want to eat meat for like 3 months after that.
Yeah, no, you're like, I can't take any chances of eating Pinky. Yeah, that was always a thing. I always felt bad for those kids. Like, I wouldn't want to raise an animal and then have to put it on a truck to become somebody else's dinner.
Yeah, you don't want to, but think about what it teaches those kids compared to kids that never have seen that. I mean, it taught me about things, and I wasn't even my pigs. You know, you get used to the pigs, but you're not like, I didn't walk them every day. I would just come by when I saw them out there walking. And hey, I'll be walking pig with you. Hey, let's walk pigs.
That was when he started having swine time.
Yeah, swine time. It's swine time. Hey, what time is it? It's swine time. We're walking the pigs. Okay, here we go.
And you thought it just came out since he was a comedian.
Yeah.
He's been having swine time for a long time.
So, but that was, so that's one of my more favorite memories is that one. Doing that.
We both played, I played softball, he played baseball in the summer, and Dad would always think it was a good idea to invite the entire baseball team over. Sometimes it would be if we both had games, like everybody.
Yeah, it'd be like half the town, it seemed like.
Yeah, and they'd all come over swimming. And then some of them couldn't swim, I think.
Yeah, they would. Yeah, that's true. Everybody would come over swimming, and the baseball coaches would be all like, "Okay, who here knows how to swim?" Everybody would raise their hand. I know how to swim. I know how to swim. I know how to swim. All right, jump in. There's always a kid who jumps in and just starts sinking.
Like immediately plummets. And keep in mind, this was like when pools were actually like allowed to be 10 feet, or I don't think a lot of people have them that deep anymore. Yeah. So it's like, that's no joke. And then they're like flailing around. I remember one girl started sinking from my baseball team, and a dad was there, and he was on the fire department, threw his pager to the side, and then dove in with his clothes, like rescued her. I still can see it in my mind too. I can remember she had some leopard print bathing suit on and was like flailing around, arms are moving. Like, oh, it's not good. And she jumped off the diving board. I mean, I gotta give her credit. If I look back, I was like, wow, she was really brave. She knew she couldn't do it, and she still tried off the diving board.
That's like, it's not like just going into the...
No, it's like, I know I can't do this, but man, I'm going to go in with a bang.
I guess that's a good way to learn to swim, like sink or swim.
Just go for the gusto.
And what did the baseball coach say after he saved her life?
I mean, I think he kind of was like, I had a feeling she didn't really know how to swim, but I just watched for a moment. And he goes, yeah, I had to go in. He was like, I think he was prepared that, like, I don't know if she's actually can really swim. And then sure enough, he was like, there goes the pager, dives right in. Oh, man.
Yeah, well, and then now for the rest of life, I almost died, but luckily
fireman. I mean, isn't it so funny? Of course, there just happened to be a fireman.
Exactly.
Perfect. Dive in. Covington Volunteer Fireman. You saved a life. People don't understand the volunteer fire department's real.
Yeah, they need to know where. Well, we just got to put them. Covington's such a small town. You just got to put a couple volunteer guys wherever the action is at the time.
Yeah.
Right.
There could be a problem here.
Yeah. Okay, they're gonna go swimming here, so let's send one guy out there.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of town, there might be one other event coming,
Maybe.
Going out. Somebody's fishing in a boat and it might tip.
Yeah, that'd be, in a stream, it'd be in a stream.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was fun. I always we had our friend Fragile couldn't swim, and people would always threaten to throw him in. Remember that? He'd be sitting in his chair, watching everybody swim, and he was terrified to swim. And within the day, somebody would run behind him, Fragile! Oh!
Oh, God. Yeah. Well, still, I'm a big pool fan myself to this day.
Yeah.
It's like a good summertime.
I mean, you guys have a pool up here at the...
Yeah, at my building here. It's pretty cool. It's on the top floor, and everybody likes to hang out.
Yeah, it's like a good party. And I was here doing some shows in Naples, and now St. Pete Beach here at the new comedy club, and now I'm going back home to Ohio. And next week I got my 25-year class reunion.
Everyone will want to tune in for that one.
Yeah, maybe I can get some footage of all the old classmates.
And new subscribers.
Who
will have definitely Swinehart stories.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're watching, you got any stories of summers, if you knew us during the summer, you know, if we beat you in baseball or softball.
Or you were one of those kids drowning.
Yeah.
You remember the memory?
Yeah.
We would love to know.
Yeah, what was going through your head when you jumped off the diving board?
Yeah.
The diving board is something you're supposed to build up to. You know, it's like 3 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot underwater, cannonball, pencil dive from regular, you know, then the cannonball, then to dive, and then the diving board. That's the final chapter. You can't just skip from, you know.
Well, apparently you can.
You can.
You can.
You just need a fireman there who can pull you out of the water.
Right, so.
Oh man, that would have sucked. That definitely would have. Good thing he was there. The pool party would have been canceled for the day.
Yeah, I mean, I think people thought we were a little bit nuts to have all those kids over.
I think we were a lot bit nuts. Looking back, I'm like never. Now that I'm an adult, I'm like,
liability.
What were they thinking? I mean, we didn't know better. We were kids, but now I'm like, man, kids were, you know.
Yeah, how many people? I'd like to take a poll. How many grown adults would allow that many 8-year-olds over with the swimming pool?
So we're saying about 20. It would have been at least. Let's say it was your team and my team, because there was a couple times like that. So your team would have had at least 12 or 15. Mm-hmm. My team would have had at least 12 or 15. Plus you got the random kids who are brothers of somebody or sisters of somebody.
Oh, we got to go to something. Can you take the brother and sister?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so there was probably days when it was a good 30 kids running around, jumping in, you know. I remember one of the kids would sit underneath the diving board. This used to tick Mom off. She would get so mad. He would sit underneath the diving board as kids would jump off the diving board and see how close it got to hitting. You know,
hitting him on the head? Yeah. Oh my God.
She would just sit there. Tell him to stop doing it. So I had to go, hey man, you can't be sitting under. Just make up stupid games, man.
Oh my God, that is dumb.
He would just be underneath the diving board.
Hold on while I sit here and see if somebody can smash my head in with a diving board. I can see why Mom wouldn't want that.
Yes. She'd always, I know some of them are peeing in the pool. Yeah, Mom, I just did. Okay. It's been there 2 hours. They've been outside for 2 hours. None of them come inside yet to use the bathroom.
Oh, God. So yeah, polling question. Would you allow that many kids over at your house swimming in a 10-foot? There was a 3-foot side if they knew what, to stay over there, but that's a pretty big pool.
Yeah, that's a lot of kids.
Pool. Although there were good parents that came and would be like, well, we'll chaperone, like the firemen.
Yeah, you did have people always helping out. That's a good thing. People still remember. I always liked that. I would bring the after the game the sodas and stuff. Oh, yeah. I mean, the last thing you need too, right before you take your kids to go swim, a big old thing of sodas. Because they're drinking,
like Sunkist and that grape soda.
Grape soda, root beer was a big one. I remember that. Yeah. Kids would just go to town on those. So it was kind of never ending with the with the amount of fun we had there, I guess. But so yeah, the pool was one of the best things about summer growing up. I mean, the pool is when you think summer, the pools are always in water and beaches. But yeah, we had some wild times. I think about that. I'm like, how the heck? I would not want, right now, I would not want 30 adults hanging out by the pool. Who are just going to even so that's one of my highlights. So, okay, so what are we going to do next? What's our plan from here on out with our new podcast?
Right, so we are going to give you an email address that you can email any questions or topics or things that you would like to hear our perspective on. So it's Brian and Kristen, BRIAN, and A-N-D, Kristen, KRISTEN, 1, @gmail.com. So send us any questions, ideas, stories that you have, because we want to cater this to things that you want to know about.
Yeah.
And so moving on out, we're going to have this once a week, 15 minutes. Hopefully it's entertaining, maybe depressing with pig stories.
Oh,
or I don't know.
Hey, it's swine time at the first one, right?
Of course, that is appropriate. We have to talk about pigs in the first, with a name like Swinehart.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Cool. All right, so we'll see him on the next one.
Yep. See you on the next one.